Y'all are silly.
Oh.
Hello, everyone. I am your favorite Auntie Lynn. This is Straight No Chaser.
Oh my
This is
God.
Straight No Chaser podcast. We are being silly and serious tonight. We are talking about Black history and our contributions to Black history and those that came before us, the shoulders that we stand on, those that will come behind us, and the things that we are responsible for so that we can leave the earth better than we found it and also make an imprint. I am here with my lovely co-hosts, Miss Helen J. Collier, Auntie Helen, so lovingly called, who is the writer of about a billion books and a billion more in her head. Um, every day she walks this earth, she is writing a new story. You know it? We have Miss Lovely Leslie Montgomery, your other co-host, who is as silly as she wants to be, but just as sweet as she is silly. She is also the writer of at least 15, 16 books by now, I'm sure.
I know that's right.
Every time she smiles,
Mhm.
she's bringing out another story. But seriously, y'all, we are Straight No Chaser podcast. We hope that you sat down, learned something. We do not have all the answers. There are definitely more questions than answers, but we're going to try to answer some questions. We're going to try to um, contribute in a way that's meaningful. Today is an impromptu podcast, and we hope that you enjoy, like, subscribe, comment, and give us some more fodder for future podcasts. And with that being said, anyone have anything on your hearts, on your minds? What's happening with y'all?
Mhm.
Well, oh,
Go
well,
ahead and tell her.
I think for our viewers tonight, we will be reflecting on our Black history and the things and how it had impacted us and how the things that was so important. Sometimes you learn things late, and sometimes you learn things early. Sometimes you're unaware of your history. And when you're unaware of your history, you live in a vacuum. You don't really know you're going in a direction, and whether it's the right or the wrong direction, you unless someone tap you on the shoulder and say, "Wait, hey." And I think that's what happened with us with Malcolm X. That's what happened with us with James Baldwin. That's what happened with us with all the Black writers and Black activists. Uh, uh, Muhammad Ali that impacted our lives and gave us a true open awareness. And I think that for me, I have reflections. And once I joined the African American Writers Alliance, I grew and just absolutely exploded in my self-awareness and knowledge of the things around me. And as a Black writer whose history evolved in America, I have put into words stories in the languages of those who enslaved my ancestors in this country. My ancestors enslaved in this country still live in me. I tell their stories. No one can take my self-worth, value, or dignity by discouraging my voice or discounting it, spoken from the lips of those written by me. Life is tough.
Mm.
So am I. Using magical
Mhm.
realism as a tool, my stories are told through the lenses of the characters I have created from the lives of real people. They are told in spite of those who might choose to discredit my work due to personal discomfort. They are American stories written about American people living in this country. They are stories that could be written about human lives living anywhere else in the world.
Mm.
I
Miss Helen,
yield.
do you wrote that?
I absolutely wrote that.
What?
I have reflection and on it has history, the history and the freedom. the things that really was just painful, but it opened an awareness in me that has never left.
Mm-hmm.
What
And
is that? What is that written in? Is it an anthology or is it one of your?
it's just one of my writings that I wrote because I wanted to acknowledge my association with the African American Writers Alliance,
Mm-hmm.
which has captured the genius. All of us who are part of that. When we write, we capture the genius of our language, of our culture, of our people, of who we are. And many people will say to us, you know, uh, that all the tragic things that happened to you, would you, if you had the chance and the opportunity and had the that you could revisit that on the people who have visited on you, and I say to them, why would we want to do something to another human being that we know is horrific, that
Mm-hmm.
we know take away from our humanity, our closeness, our spirituality with God, to want to do someone like that? And we have to, it's a mystery to us how they were formed to to be able to do those throwing babies into the water for alligators, hanging, just having feast and thing around the death of the cruelties of helpless people. No, I don't think we as a race of people would ever want to visit that on anyone because we realize that to do something like that is a sickness.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree?
I agree. And I just have to chime in on that because I feel like having um been forced to live amongst so many different people from so many different walks of life, I have been able to, and I think that I inherently know, it's a knowing that um our people are the most resilient and loving and welcoming, and no matter what the hardship has been that our ancestors have gone through, what we still go through today. It may
Right,
look a little different, but we still are going through it, right?
right,
It may be this modern day slavery that we could talk about. It may be just even in our own culture and race, the colorism that goes on. However, we still are going through it, but it is up to us to look and be able to identify it. But before I get into it, I just want to say again, like every episode that we do, I just have to say, Miss Helen, that I so appreciate being able to vicariously like live through you and see life through your lens because I am the youngest on this podcast. However, I'm the youngest of my mother's four children, and my oldest sibling is 11 years older than me. So I have been able to see a lot and learn a lot from having older siblings. So, with that being said, I just want you to know that I really appreciate everything that you bring to this podcast, not just for myself, but for people who are listening. I love what you said about um, we are able to learn the genius of our language. Like, what a very beautiful way to articulate us as people this February, this Black History Month, us celebrating us celebrating each other, but to know that everyone in their own differences, everyone having their own gifts and abilities. Language comes in many forms, right? The spoken language, the physical body language, so on and so forth. But to understand that we can tap into the genius of our language. That's a really powerful statement. So I just say thank you for saying that because that really resonates with me. Um, when we decided to do this impromptu, I'm like, I don't know. Okay, I'm thinking of different figures as a, you know, 53-year-old Black woman. One woman came to my mind, and I can't bring her up without saying, um, it was only due to my unfortunate circumstances that I was incarcerated for the 25 years that I was able to explode. And the world of educating myself on a higher level was exploded upon me, right? So I learned about Shirley Chisholm. A lot of women my age, a lot of women younger than me, probably some women older than me may not even know, but that was the first Black woman to run for president of the United States of America. So, and
And
just
what
with
did she say? If they don't give you a seat at the table,
mm. You
bring
know,
your own chair. Come on.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's just so many people that I learned more about in depth as I start walking this journey of educating myself on a higher level, not just about Black figures, just about world history, Black history, you know, Native American history, just all the different things, right? But I definitely thought about her. And as you had posed the question, like if we could think of a family member, maybe I always think of my great Aunt Annie, who was my grandma's oldest sister, because I sat at her feet so many times after church. She died at 99, and I cannot unlearn the stories that she poured into me. And so, just knowing those things, and she may not have been famous, but she was famous in my eyes because that woman went through hell and high water, just like my grandmother. Um, and you know, my mother, arguably. You know, when a woman who gave life to you could tell you that she picked cotton in the dusty fields of Mississippi, so that's somebody who's
That's what I'm
famous in
hearing.
my
Say
eyes,
it, say it. I
you
love it. You're
know?
telling her
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
Yes. And so the genius of our language, and this is what I would challenge women my age, younger women, you know, to really tap into your history, learn, you know, of the women, Fannie Lou Hamer and her sisters who walked with her, who was and is the shoulders that we stand on, and why women have rights, why we can vote, why we can do these things. Like so many men and women. We would never, no one, we all know what Martin Luther King did, right? But I'm talking about going deeper, you
Yes,
know,
girls.
going
Talking
deeper
sister. I'm in your
and
amen corner.
yeah, and really learning like where we come from, learning about the figures and the people who did what they did in order for us to be here right now, to be on this podcast and be able to speak of their names and know that yes, they have not been forgotten.
That's true.
Yeah. Um, man, y'all, this is so near and dear because when I was growing up,
Uh-huh.
I I learned a lot about my aunts, my uncles, not a whole lot about my grandfather and his people. I'm not finding out more about that until posthumously, right?
Mm,
Uh-huh.
Um, but I the things that I was learning, I never thought like, oh, I'm gonna sit down and I'm just gonna pick their brains and figure out. But there was a woman that I started working with. Her name is Deborah Harris Branham.
mm,
She is, um, she used to be the kids' librarian at their school, and she is a professional storyteller, and she tells historical stories. And she introduced myself and my kids and all the kids through up and through that school for years about Black history. So I started getting involved with her doing the Black history, the plays or the Martin Luther King Day assemblies and things like that. And Man, even now, she's a part of the Black Genealogy Research Group. Have you guys heard of that?
Mm-mm.
No.
It's a there is a fee, I think, to join, but you can go to some of their events for free, and they meet at like Skyway Library and different places around, and they'll help you sit on the computer
Mm.
and research your history,
Mm.
right? But Deborah Harris Branham is the one that introduced me also to that, right? She's somebody that's here, that's now, that's making history, that's
Mm-hmm.
helping you
Mm-hmm.
to bridge your gap to find your history, right? Um, so the conflict for me is their meetings are the same time AWA's meetings are
Mm.
on, on the first Saturday of the month. And so I don't always get on there, but sometimes I log in and I'm so fascinated by all the history that's coming out, all the people who, in ways that they're finding their history and what they're doing with their historical facts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then, so Deborah Harris Branham, she's one, and I love her to life. If you guys ever get a chance, I'm gonna try to see if she'll come on one day. But she's
Oh.
a fabulous. She could read, I don't know, a little Bill book and make it sound like just grand. Okay, I mean, just the way that she tells the story, the way that her inflection, the way she puts herself in the story, amazing. She's amazing. Y'all gotta
What
meet her.
can you tell me one? Tell me one Pacific story that she has conveyed to you about our history that stuck really deep for you.
So, let's see. One of the stories.
Yeah, one of the things that happened in our history that.
Okay, the first time I heard about Bessie Coleman was through Deborah Harris Brown. So what she would do is she would have the kids for the Black History Month. They do a play at the end, or it might be Martin Luther King. Sometimes Martin Luther King is in January, and then we got Black History
Mhm.
Month. So sometimes it was a combined assembly. But she would have the children pick a Black historical figure,
Mm-hmm.
and then um, they would research the character or the person, because I don't want to reduce them to characters, but they would research the person, and they would come and they would dress like them. Their body
Mm.
language would be like them. So when she was talking about Bessie Coleman, I'm like, who the heck is Bessie Coleman, right? And so she was telling me as an adult about Bessie Coleman being the first licensed Black aviator and how she
Oh,
had to go overseas to get her license and come back here and do all the things. And now there's movies about her and there's stories about her. There's book. I think I have her book
yeah, I've read
here.
about. I'm glad you mentioned her because I've read about
Um,
uh
Yeah.
Coleman.
So, I mean,
The
she's
tragic way she
one
died.
because I just remember the little girl who's like, I am Bessie Coleman.
Okay.
I did this, that, and the other, right? But the way that she told the kids, you don't want to just have this flat paper, right? You want to become the character.
Yeah,
I
embody the
remember,
character.
yeah, and my son one year was um, Louis Armstrong.
Mm.
you know. Oh my gosh, it was so good because she had the
Mm.
background music and just everything. And he was up there just, pretend blowing his little trumpet.
Okay.
But she, so many characters that she brought out that I know some of the people I had never heard of. And um, so many of them that I know the kids hadn't heard of, right?
Mm.
But by the time they left fifth grade at Campbell Hill, they were going to know many characters. I mean, not characters, but many historical figures, right? Um, and then I met Carol McKinstry. You guys know who that is? She,
No, I don't.
do you
No, I don't
remember
either.
at the
Never heard
16th
of her.
Street Baptist Church where the four little girls got blown up?
Uh-huh, I know you know. I
Mm-hmm.
know the girls.
Okay. So, well, they got murdered.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Um, but she was in the church that day. So she goes around and she does speeches. She's one of the survivors.
Yeah.
And so she I met her. She came to the Martin Luther King Day breakfast a few years ago. Um, and she was talking to us about what happened on that morning. It was
Mm-hmm.
youth Sunday, and they were all, giddy and excited because it was youth day and they were going to be running the service, and you know um they were just going to, youth Sunday, you know how youth Sunday
Yeah.
is, you get to have control over everything. And so she was saying that the girls were going in the bathroom, getting their little hair together and everything, and the phone had rang, and I think she said she answered the phone or whatever, and someone said 3 minutes, and she went to go get an adult or whatever during that time. What happens after that, history, the church.
Explosion.
Right.
But she was one of the survivors. And so
Wow.
at the breakfast that I met her, she exchanged numbers with me, and I wish I still have my old phone because I lost all those numbers. But from time to time we would talk, and she was just the sweetest person. And I was like, this is somebody you never would have thought, I never would have thought that I would have met in person
Right.
and been able to carry on just a chance meeting, or getting an autograph or taking a matter of fact, I have a picture.
Mm.
It came up in my memory the other day and I just screenshotted it.
Mm.
But she's somebody that if you ever sit down, because she told me a lot about Martin Luther King and how he didn't want to lead the charge. And this was at the church. The ministers and stuff would meet and everything like that. And she was like, he didn't want to be the front man for all that. But to hear it from somebody who was there, and though she was a child, but she heard all this going on around her, all this adult talk,
Mhm.
sitting up under the adults' feet and listening to
Yeah.
that. But oh my gosh, so many people, Miss Helen, so many people.
I hear you because
Yeah.
when you tell me about the young when you tell me about the woman that who's a young girl when that happened, it brought something back to me when I had written a letter from the past, living in the land of the Klan.
Mm,
There was no warning they were coming. Millions of stars filled the night sky. Not a cloud in sight. Nothing prepared us for their coming. In the dead of the night, their violence exploded. Our lives were the target of their destruction. Each way we turned, they defeated us. They burned our homes, they killed our babies, though we struggled to save them. What could we do when there was no one willing to help us? When the carnage was over, they left the dead behind. Among the horrors reminding us of their coming was a torn white sheet hanging from the branch of a tree where death had taken its bounty. And if that just explains exactly what you just said about the young girl. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
A,
Not
a,
even
a,
expecting something like
nothing
that.
she was not expecting any of us, and that is the way many of the people lived in the Jim Crow era,
Right.
uh, where they had no idea what was coming. And can you imagine Emmett Till,
Right.
his grandfather, seeing him pulled out of the house, and he could not help him.
Do nothing.
He do nothing.
Mm.
Yes, and that was so and people think it's so far-fetched that you can't even imagine. That's why I say to you ladies, no, we would never want to
Yeah.
be that's worse than being a vicious animal.
Right. Right.
To want to hurt a person's take a person's life for
And what
such
they
a thing.
did to him, and then put him
Yes,
in the Mississippi
but
River,
that's
wasn't
just
it?
ooh. and she had the courage to let the world see this is what
Yeah.
we're living with.
Yeah. Yeah.
These are the kinds of people.
And they call us animals.
Yeah,
Because
oh
y'all
my
want to hide
God, they're
behind
animals
sheets,
better
and I
than
want
that.
y'all to
Right.
see what you did to my baby.
Yeah.
That's
Yes,
what,
yes,
no more
yes,
hiding. No more
yes.
hiding.
We're no more hiding. This is what you are. You shouldn't mind people seeing it. And
Well,
it was just, it's a
on a
history. It's a history that I don't know. I have to say, God, why would we? But there's a reason for
mm,
everything in the on this earth and why it happened and what it happened. But it gives you an idea of what you do not want to become.
yeah, I know that's right. Well, with you, you went to that end of the spectrum. I want to go to this end where it
Okay.
made me think of what you was just explaining, and you were talking about this young lady in y'all's conversations, Lynn, and her being a survivor. You said how we are today we're able to make history. Like she's doing her part. She lived through
Mhm.
something so horrific and so
Ooh,
unthinkable, and only God knows. Only God's grace, would allow someone to walk out of that church after
Yes.
such a horrific thing happening, right? She's
Yes.
making history by telling her story and sharing it with you. And I say, we are all here tonight making history. And that is what, like, I decided as I began my journey on learning so many different things in so many different disciplines. I was like, anything, like, I want to pour all of this out on my kids, my grandkids, like whoever, my friends, my peers, whoever, like, there's nothing more enriching than having like an intellectual feast with someone. We all have our own different, you know, things to give and to add, right? But just
Yes.
to have that exchange. I loved being in the classroom. I loved being able to have these dialogues with my professors. And with that, it's like I want to speak to the first, and I mean when I say phenomenal Black woman, Dr. Gilda Shepherd. She
Hmm.
ah,
was
I
my
love
first.
her.
Love her. Snapped 20,000 times, because let me tell you, that woman poured so much into me and onto me in the classroom, in private conversations. I still communicate with her periodically. And I just seen something that she posted, and it is typical of her, like just pouring out onto the world figures, people, our people who impacted the world, made a contribution, people we should know, people we should, look up and educate ourselves on if we don't know of them. And I couldn't even talk about this subject without speaking her name. And another one is Dr. Tate Arunga. They both taught at Evergreen.
Yes.
And they, oh my
And she's
God,
the president now, right?
I'm not sure,
Dr.
but
Tate
I would,
Arunga.
What
I
what
think,
what
yes.
let
what
me
would
tell you
help?
about Miss Gilda. When
What would help
my
me if you would tell
precious,
me something that these two people did that
Really
I
stuck
can
with
see
me.
myself. Yeah, you tell me
I,
how fantastic, but tell
yes.
me something that will resonate with me that I can feel that energy that you are feeling.
I'm going to tell you one thing
Thank
that
you. Tell me
Dr. Gilda
something.
Shepherd taught me in
Uh-huh.
the few years that I was a student of hers. One thing that always stuck with me. One
And
day
what is that?
we were in the classroom, and she said, I had written a paper, and I like to, get good grades. It was an A paper, whatnot. I took sociology with her. I took couple other classes with her. She said, Leslie, let me tell you something. your life experience. She said the world, the way the world is set up, people look at currency from one lens, basically. She said your life and your life experience is currency. It is period. Like what you have gone through, what you have been through, the things that you have to add to the world is currency. Never forget it. And I've never forgot that. Period.
Let me
Now
Love
tell
you
you
now
about
you
Dr. Tate
Dr.
Arungula.
Gilda when Precious was going to Evergreen. She had the four
Mm-hmm.
kids. She was pregnant with her fifth, right?
Mm.
Dr. Gilda, you would think that she was 6, 7 feet tall. I
Yes,
mean,
honey.
as much charisma and
Yeah.
personality as she has, and I wonder who's feeding into her because she's feeding and pouring into
Mm-hmm.
everybody else and always
Mm-hmm.
seems full, right? But
Yeah.
I mean, I have pictures of Precious being on the panel and Dr. Gilda holding the baby for her.
Oh,
You know what I
wow.
mean?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
no excuse for you not to finish your education,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So bring that baby here
Mm-hmm.
and the rest of them if you need to,
Right.
and we will pass them around. And there's enough of us to
Yep.
embrace the children while you
Mm-hmm.
finish your
now you're
education.
Yeah.
telling
You
me.
know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah,
just
Mm-hmm.
now I
a
know what you mean.
beautiful
The
soul.
character of the
And
person.
she was best friends with Bell Hooks, right?
Oh,
You know,
yes, she
Bell
was. She
Hooks, the
was.
author. And
Yes, she
so when
definitely
I gave
introduced me to
her
bell
a
hooks.
copy, or she bought my book because I was going to give her one, and she was like, "No, you will not. I'm going to support you. I'm going to buy your
Right.
book." Right? So she bought one for her and one for Bell Hooks.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, she called me. I think she called me. Anyway, this is what I remember. Bell Hooks has your book, baby.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
was like, oh, thank you. You know, that was
Hmm.
just so sweet. So
She used
before
to
she
play a
passed,
lot of video recordings of bell hooks in our
hmm
classroom because like you said, they were friends. They weren't just
hmm
so they were friends. And she wanted us to get to know bell hooks so like on the level, you know what I mean, not
hmm
just reading her books, not reading excerpts, not writing on what we read and what we perceive, our
right.
perception, but she wanted us to really feel this woman and
Yeah.
her being. And the kudos, I just love her, I really
See,
do.
Miss Helen,
Now I do know
listen,
Bell
the
Hooks.
next time we go to Evergreen, I'm gonna, when I was telling you they have those panels and things like
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
the next time they have a panel, and they always have an, I'm gonna reach out to her, see if she'll be there because I
Yeah.
think that um you sitting up under each other's feet will
Hmm.
be a, a just a grand time.
Yeah, I
You'll
think
you'll
she
feed into each
definitely,
other. Yeah,
speaking
she's
on Black History Month and famous, or in famous is is relative. Fame, you know what I mean? So famous
There you go.
and Gilda Shepherd's name should definitely be in the conversation, Dr. Gilda Shepherd. And we
for
know that
sure.
there are only a very small percentage of Black women who hold the title doctor. So let
Yeah.
that be known. You know what I
Speaking
Well,
of
mean?
doctor, let me talk
I
about
don't
Dr.
know.
Georgia McDade.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
She,
I don't know the those two women, but I do know Bell Hooks. We had to do at for town hall. We had to do a presentation on her, and the
Mm,
one thing that I remember her from is when she says that when she leaves home, the neighborhood, a place of safety, and she
yeah.
goes out into the larger society, she carries one face and she has one facade. But as she gets closer and closer to her place of safety, that's
Mm,
when she's at home. And
mm,
I was taken by her. As I said, I don't know the other two women, but when you link the three together, then
yeah.
I have to, in my mind, say, okay, they had some commonality
Yeah.
because
Mhm.
that
Wasn't
was an
she said
explosive.
We have to
For me, that happened.
dismantle.
You know, when come back to my black society, my black environment, I felt safe. And when I
Mm,
had to go out into the larger society with people that was uh, not my race,
yeah.
and it was apparent at that time that there was a division.
Mm. I think it was Bell Hooks who said we have to dismantle the master's tools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
Hmm.
you know,
Well, you made it when you mentioned Shirley Chisholm. You just
mm,
sent chills through my me because she was such a dynamic
yeah.
personality, and she not only showed us the hatred and the bigotry that existed in the white community, but she
Mm,
also showed us the fragilities of our own.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, yeah, because the support that she should have received from her own people
Yeah.
was not forthcoming, and she was one brilliant woman.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, she was. And even her own people who was
Yep.
responsible for, you know. Yeah.
Yes, they didn't. No, 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 no. She was no Lena
Mm.
Horne or uh, Dorothy Daniels, but she was
Because of
absolutely.
that colorism
If you could
that
open up her
Leslie was
Yeah.
heart,
talking about earlier, you know,
Hmm.
uh,
you talked about it. Colorism is
Yeah.
yes,
strong in
that's
our
right. You
community,
sure
you know what
did.
I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
Yeah.
I heard
And
this
heartbreaking.
it's so
story.
sad, but it's so true too.
I heard
It's
this
Yes.
story
sad.
today on I don't know what I was something I was listening to, but this guy was saying that there was I know it's in this book called I think it's not The Mountain as You. Oh, The Four Agreements,
Oh,
right?
I love that book. I
So you know
love,
when
love that book.
the guy was talking about there was a little girl who loved to dance and sing and do all the things, and her mom was so beaten down by her job and all this kind of stuff, and she came home and the little girl was doing it, and she had the mom had a headache and all that, and the little girl was dancing and singing and just making noise and stuff, and her mom told her, "Shut up, go sit down, you have an ugly voice."
Mm,
Ultimately, what happened to that little girl is she stopped singing. She never would sing anymore. She thought her voice was ugly and everything because that's what her mom taught her, who was the closest. I bring that up to say when you're around the fire and you have people building into you, and
hmm.
we talked about that, buying somebody else's belief, the
Right,
people who
right.
are closest to you, like Gilda Shepherd fed into you. She fed
Hmm.
into my daughter and, countless others. I'm sure
Hmm.
thousands of others,
Yes.
right? Whatever she told you all, or even me, we believed
Yeah.
that we could do it. We were capable, even if we
Hmm.
didn't do it, right? But if she had a sat you down and been like, well, you need to sit down because I don't think you're good enough. And her being in her high
Yeah,
esteem
yeah, yeah,
doctor, right? A black doctor um, of education
yeah.
would have told you something adversely, you would have probably embraced that
Of
because she
course.
said that. And
Yeah.
so we as educators, as mothers, as women in the community need to make sure that we're feeding
Hmm.
into the future, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, because we don't want to stop anybody from singing,
Well,
you
that's
know?
the amazing thing, and I give just props to FEP's Freedom Education Program of Puget Sound. Puget Sound College is a great college, right? But all of these professors who took out their time, black professors, white professors, people who did not have to do it, but they did it because they believed in us. They believed in pouring into, us as humans, period. They didn't, it wasn't about like we don't deserve a higher education. No. And when we were in those classrooms, we were eye to eye, nose to nose, having conversations like just two humans. Like it wasn't, oh, because I'm the professor, I'm looking down my nose at I am what I said in education last episode. We have it in here. They were there in place to pull out, to draw out what is already within. And
Absolutely.
that was the beautiful thing of it. And all of the professors that I experienced. And so Gilda, she's definitely in a class of her own, but I say that to speak about like all the professors like that.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that. Man, I'm telling you, it was just really
What you what,
um, a
well what
unique but amazing experience, and unlike being at UW, if I was out here and I'm going to UW it's just it was something that you just had to be a part of it to really understand how I feel. There's no words to even put to it right now, but I'm really grateful.
Well, something and I'm grateful too, because look at you now.
No.
Um, I was started to mention earlier about Dr. Georgia McDade, who
Mm,
is one of the founders, and but I also have to mention Miss Randy Eddins, who's the founder of AWA. And
mm,
they're giving opportunities to so many Black writers.
mm-hmm,
Not all are published, but there are poets and there are spoken word artists, and there are, like Miss Helen with her 200 books, and
mm,
you know what I mean? And then you have people who are in there like Noni Irvin, who is the founder of was it? It's the Kwanzaa Awards,
mm-hmm,
right? And
mm-hmm,
they embody each of the seven principles of Kwanzaa, and I'm not even
mm-hmm.
going to do it justice, but
Yeah.
Noni does a beautiful job of explaining
absolutely.
all the principles of Kwanzaa, and she gives awards to and individuals and businesses
Organizations,
Yeah.
yeah.
in the
And
Black
don't leave
community.
yourself out.
Well,
Well,
what that
I am a
excuse me.
recipient of
But I'm
Kwanzaa,
saying Black Author
you know.
Appreciation
Well,
What,
as
yes,
a
I
Black
am the
woman who
founder.
is, yeah,
yeah.
definitely giving people opportunity to be seen, to
Yeah,
Well,
be
Well, let me let
recognized.
me let me say this
yeah.
in reference to that, which you got it before I did, Leslie.
Yeah.
Uh, uh,
She
uh,
always
uh,
trying to leave herself
about
out.
yeah, well, the 2 years ago, you're
Three
talking about
now.
Noni. Noni and I was supposed to get together, and I was going to do a reading at a restaurant, and she said, "Oh no, you're not going to do that. I have someone else I want to introduce you to."
Mm.
And I said, dang. And then so she said, I have this woman I know and you would absolutely love her. I said, oh, who am I gonna love? So she said, well, just meet her. And so she introduced me to she said her name was Bernalyn Reese, and that she was doing she does for authors appreciation celebration. Oh, I said, is she black? So because we always have these proteges that have, and she said, yes, yes, she is. And so I'm saying to myself, a woman who's black who is gonna take her time and resources to have a celebration for black writers here in the Northwest where I'm
Mm.
at, and I'm going to have an opportunity to have to participate in this event. And so we had to have a Zoom meeting once a week for 3 weeks, for four, I think it was four sessions that we had.
Yes.
And in each session, I was given the opportunity to meet other authors who was going to be a part of the event, and also get to really know her and her devotion and her commitment. And it was um, absolutely something that for me that added to that broadened my scope,
Mm.
and just to have a someone who was that interested in Black writers, which I that we had our organization, but just a celebration. It was just awesome. And so when I was given the chance to meet other Black writers I never met before from California, from Portland, and
Mm,
in my heart, in my dream, I had always said I would sure like to have a network across
mm,
the Northwest with other Black writers to see what they were doing. And when I said it, I just left it in my consciousness, never dreaming that I would meet these writers from the cross of Nazareth. Never dream I would meet a woman who was so devoted in caring about uh, authors who had struggled and gone through so much to publish their works and have a place where they could absolutely be held in celebration. It was absolutely wonderful. And
yeah.
ever since then, all my friends, who is the man? Where is he? When is the author celebration going? Who's going to be invited? Where? And it was the treatment all the authors received, the people who were there. It was astronomical. It was
Mm.
astronomical for me and for my family and for my friends who I invited and for other authors. So I we need to give a shout out
Yeah.
to our own. Yes, we talk about all
Well,
these other
shout
people
out to
who
y'all.
doctors, who lawyers, who's
Shout
this and
out
that.
to
But let's
you.
give a shout out to our own. Who's enough?
Yes.
That's enough to bring us to the.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
Well, thank you for
Yes.
that, Miss Helen. I really appreciate that. I just want to, okay, so let me say this. When really, God put it on my heart to do that, it was because of the struggles that I had trying to publish. And I was like, I know that I'm not the only one going through a journey like this, a struggle. I'm
Uh-huh.
sure there's other people out here who are looking for publishers, who are um, looking to write, but don't know what to write, don't know how to put it together. And I thought just what a wonderful opportunity it would be for us to sit and just glean from each other, right? That's
Mm.
the thing that kept coming to me. But then I started thinking, well, then who's going to want to work with me, right?
Mhm.
And really, once, you know, Spirit was like, when did it become about you? It changed something for me, right?
Mm.
Then it was like, oh, well, since it ain't about me, there shouldn't be any fear, right? And when I started calling people, I'm not gonna cry with y'all, not tonight. But when I started calling people, there were, oh yeah, I want to participate because I was just praying and asking the Lord about where to market my books, or I was just telling the Lord that I need to get outside my community um, and sell my books. And someone even told me, she was like, I haven't even picked my book up in years to sell it.
Mm.
And she came to the very first one. So it was all these people. And then there were people that came who were like Debbie Hagen. Oh my gosh, what a sweetheart. But
Yeah.
who was like in the midst of, publishing her book. So the first year she wasn't published. The second year she was published and she came as an artist. But the first year she just came as a supporter. So there are all these just wonderful people that I've met. Mr. James Donaldson reached out to me and asked if he could be a part, and I was like, you know, you're an NBA, ex-NBA player and all this kind of stuff, and I have all this reach, but you want to work with me? But it was like God was saying, I already told you this is not about you. You
Mm.
know what I mean? And so just the impact of it, I love it. I love that you all, even Leslie got to participate last year.
I
That was so
know.
amazing. She'll be there again this year. Miss Helen was there for every single Zoom call, every single one, and I appreciate that. Um, it's just been wonderful. You know what I
It
mean? It's
has.
been wonderful for my kids and grandkids to see. They all haven't been able to make it, to to the appreciations, but they've all been supportive. And now that we have the little highlight videos and stuff, I won't say little, but the highlight videos, other people, it gives us a reach so they can see what goes on. And this year it'll be in Renton, so the Seattle folks who don't like to drive out to Tacoma can, come see. But I appreciate y'all and thank y'all for rocking with me so hard.
Yeah.
Thank you, and
Not
I thank
me,
you.
I'm rocking with y'all.
Let me say this. Let me say this to you, Lynn. I want to thank you so very much for. I would never have met a second Angela Davis like I have here with Leslie. She is
Oh,
my little
come
Angela
on.
Davis because because she 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 her when you can stand when nobody else will
Mm,
on your truth, on your belief in you, when you can stand no matter how long, no matter how hard,
mm.
and know that God will be with you every step of the way. I cannot do anything but just say, "Oh, you're one awesome woman."
Thank
I
you.
mean, and a very good friend of mine said to me, "She's an exceptional woman."
Mm,
After all she's been through, she is so exceptional. She's not the ordinary, and you are not. I really think of Angela Davis when I think of you. I think of your struggle and your might, and when you walked out as
yeah.
strong as you. You just, I thank you for introducing me to a woman who has lived an extreme life, but did it with dignity
Mm,
and strength, and have given so much and still give so much.
mm.
You are a part of my life that I never want to lose.
Oh, thank you so much, Miss Helen.
Yes,
Thank you
yes.
so
You
much.
just
And I feel
know
the
that.
same way. Like when I was still in that prison and my cousin's like, well, Miss Helen is excited to meet you. And I talked to her and I was thinking to myself, what? She's excited to meet me. Like, and just an honor and a privilege to have made your acquaintance and to be able to share space and time like this and my cousin being in it's like this three-strand cord right here and she's right there in the middle and we all wrap our arms around each other and we are learning from each other and we're living this life and I'm still experiencing a lot of things that I could not have ever imagined. I could not have written them into my story, but please know that I'm just as honored and grateful to have met you and I hope till I have no breath in my body we will be friends and we will continue to grow. And so
Yes,
um
yes,
I'm just being me and living my life. I ain't gonna say little, but I'm just living my life and
uh,
and just yeah,
yeah,
just thankful for God's grace that He allowed me to get through something that would have broke a lot of people. I seen it.
yes,
I seen it
indeed,
with my own eyes. I seen it,
yes. That's
period.
what I have to say to Lynn. When you what you give comes back to you, and that must be a
Yeah.
lot of love and good giving coming back to
Mhm.
you, dear,
Yeah.
because you have introduced people to each other who have stood the test of time
Mm.
and who have come together to give witness
Yeah.
to that time.
I have a question for
Yes,
all of us to answer, and it is when you think about it, um when it's all said and done and the curtain is pulled and what what would you like your contribution to be onto our people, period, um whether sisters, brothers, children, grandchildren, in the way of Black history. Like I said, our name don't have to be Angela Davis. Who I wanted to mention too, did people even know that she was on the top 10 most wanted list?
yes,
People learn your history. before I just say that, but what would you like your contribution to be um in the way of Black history? We're all famous. We all have something to give and contribute. So what would yours be, Miss Helen?
Well, I have written nine titles, including um, a trilogy which took me over 30 years to write. My contribution to my people would be
Hmm.
that, and let me say this, our history didn't start with Jim Crow. It didn't start with
Right.
Martin Luther King. It started in
Hmm.
1619. If you
Mm.
don't know your history,
Hmm.
you will always repeat it in some way.
Hmm.
Learn your history
I
and
know
know
that's
who
right.
you are as a race of people. And when I say 1619, it didn't start there. It started way back 2000 years before that. Before there was white people, even in our even in our midst, over in Africa, when we were make building pyramids,
Right,
when
right.
we were kings and queens and was fighting
Yes.
with all our, so we're not only slaves, we have been kings and queens, and we
Yes.
have,
Come on.
we they have done so many great
That's
things.
right.
And there's something about us. I think that God took us and said, we're gonna give you to these people here, and no matter what you do to them, they're gonna still multiply.
Right.
They gonna still come back again and again in your face. And no matter what, we will arrange. And you when you say we're the first, we're
Yeah.
telling you only
Yeah.
because we could not do it the first at the
Okay.
first time.
It's
Because
like we got an extra resilience gene,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
we got
Yeah.
an extra brilliance gene.
Ah!
You know what I mean? And
Okay.
so much like this is how I know God loves me,
Yes.
right?
yes,
Because I got
yes,
some
yes,
extras. You know,
Mm-hmm.
yes,
like little kids be in the lunch line and they get an extra cookie and they be like, "Oh, I'm special." Be like, "I got some extra resilience. I got some
Yeah.
extra brilliance. I got
that's
some
it.
extra
We
stick
got
and
to know
stay." You
ourselves.
know?
We have
Mm-hmm.
to
Yeah.
love ourselves.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not. And what the biggest mistake they made was when they start breeding, and the kids came out white like them. They said, "Oh, you can't be white because you got the black in you." And
Mm-hmm.
we took in those white ones right on in that race, and we got more and more and more, and they start dwindling down. Now they hollering, "Oh, the race is not going away." You gave
Right.
it to us.
Yeah.
All of your DNA, anything that you had that was a breed, you gave it to us, and we took it and
Okay.
absolutely.
I'm gonna tell you, Miss Helen has a book. It's called The Unexpected. And I ain't never gonna stop talking about this book
Mm-hmm.
because listen, I was reading that book and had to stop and call Miss Helen, was you there? Like
Uh-uh.
you were really transported. That book, you want to learn about something. Now it's written as fiction,
Right.
right? But there's so much historical fact in
Yeah.
that. And when you read that book, for one thing, it makes you think, would I have been as strong or
Mm.
resilient? Would I
Mm-hmm.
have been able to survive all the horror, right? But it opens your eyes to so much. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling you, that is my favorite of all of Miss Helen's books. And I'm still working on Miss Anna, but
Mm-hmm.
it Miss Anna is good. It does not grip me like the unexpected. And I don't know if it's because um, of where my awareness is now
Mm-hmm.
and looking for historical, content,
Right.
but everyone needs to get that book. There you
I'm
go.
gonna have to get that.
HelenCollierMeow.com.
Yeah.
Going to get the unexpected. Now the other
Okay.
books, they're really great too. They're all, I mean, but I just have to say, if you're looking for great um a, s- a starter for historical facts,
Right.
right? But you're gonna read it as fiction. Um Ain't no gingerly pussyfooting around in that
Right.
book, right? It's definitely straight, no chaser,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be straighter than that. So
So, are you gonna answer that
I'm gonna answer your
question?
question. I'm gonna answer your question, and I'm
Okay,
gonna
okay, okay.
answer it with something that I
That was a
wrote.
strong question you asked, sister.
I'm gonna answer
Okay.
you in an indirect way.
Oh, really?
I exist black. It ain't just a notion that I'm a reflection of God. I am black as the existence before he said, "Let there be light." And there I go. A light to reflect him, a light, and I am black. I am like black is, like black was, like black will be. Turn out the light, and there's still me. A
Mm,
reflection of him who is, who was, who will be, who always will be, existing. It ain't a pity or a crying shame that you see me existing black before you even know my name. It's how I exist black, beautiful, benevolent, bountiful, living, loving, lovable, altruistic, alluring, charismatic, considerate, conscientious, knowledgeable, kindred, kaleidoscopic. I exist. I exist black, like roaring waves on the shore at night, loud by nature, sometimes out of sight. I
mm.
exist calmly, like melanin that can't be silenced, even when they don't see color. Don't pretend to be colorblind. See me existing black. I exist black to give back a light to reflect the light who designed me to exist black. I exist black to pay it forward. I exist to give back. I exist and I exist black by Bernard
What
Lynn Reese.
you?
I like that.
I want it. That is awesome.
Yeah, who wrote that?
That's what I didn't even want to
Bernard
ask.
Lynn Reese.
Oh, I
Woo!
love that.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? Oh, you know you're gonna Bay. You. Oh my.
I love that.
Yes.
Oh, it's in this
So
anthology.
it is in the
Go,
anthology.
girl. You know you're gonna have
I'm
to
writing
read
her
that.
work.
You know
So
you're gonna have to read that Elliot Bay.
so when
That
folks
is
say,
awesome.
thank you, thank you.
Yeah,
When
I
folks
love that.
say, I don't see color, I want you to
Yeah,
see color.
right.
Woo! Talk to me,
Right.
Okay.
sister.
Yeah.
Um, I want you not to erase me when in history.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to
That's
know that
it.
I existed and I existed black.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Listen, that's now you know that's a hug.
Yeah.
You know what? Wasn't this awesome?
Yeah.
We didn't even just do a prep or anything else. We just come from our
Okay.
brought it from our heart
Yes.
and gave it to our people and anyone else who wanted to absorb it.
Mm-hmm.
And
I have a did have either of y'all read Isabel Wilkerson's The Warmth of Other Suns and then The
yes.
Pillars of Fire?
Ooh,
Though you talking about some introduction to some history and some
I
yes.
hope.
think I got it right.
Let
I think
me
I got
tell
that.
you something. You have to read The Warmth of Other Suns in like you just have to take your time because it's so
You
much,
do.
it's so vivid, it's just
Graphic.
graphic and
Graphic.
and I always think about my granny and my aunt Annie and my grandmother like my great grandfather all of them my mama and all them guys like dang you know it's
Yes.
something
It
so
is something. Oh my
yeah
God. Leslie, you saying that remind me of my great cousin telling me she took care of my great grandmother who was a slave.
mm-hmm
And even after freedom had come, she
right
said she was if she saw a white person, she would still say massa.
yeah
Yeah,
yeah
massa.
Mm.
right
Because it was so ingrained in her.
brained
Yeah,
mm,
yeah. Oh my God. Yes, you are so
yeah
right. Oh my goodness.
yeah
You
it's
know,
something
you can't talk about yourself without being. Have you ever seen people? When they get in, they're in church and the ministry is going on and
It's
it's getting
a
so good, and then they get up there and just have to do the
yes get happy
Yeah, get
Because
not
you
say
know
get
what?
happy.
You know how far you come and how good God has been and how he has covered you and kept you and just
Never
woo,
failed me yet.
man, I got the chills right now. Because like I
Uh-huh.
said, I
He's
done
a
seen
miracle
people
in my life.
I done seen too many people die before me. I done seen people not walk out, and I'm talking about outside of that place and inside
Hmm.
that place. And I'm gonna tell you something. I sometimes I used to think, Lord, am I gonna make it out of here? Like I just, and I promise you, I would just thank God every day for my health, for just His grace and His mercy. And even like when we talked about health and wellness, I said I don't take not one medication. I'm healthy. I'm well, and it's all due to the grace of God. And
Yeah.
I just always have to acknowledge Him for that because I've seen so many people not walk out of there.
Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm. So you know God
Yeah.
had a purpose and a reason for your existence, and He's
That's
still working
right.
with your sister
That's right. That's
and you
right.
too, Auntie Lynn.
That's right.
Well, that's
That's
what I
right.
say. Even if somebody don't believe it, don't mean
Right.
it ain't true.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
You could not believe in God if you don't want to, but
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that God doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It don't mean that he ain't true. And that,
Mm-hmm.
n- not being super spiritual, but I know what I have to be thankful for,
Yeah.
you know?
absolutely.
And
You know, it
I'm
wasn't
here,
you on your own doing the things that you have accomplished. You know, it had to be something
Yeah. For
much
yeah,
real.
more. Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, yeah,
So, I
yeah.
mean, we tear each other down, but I see that lately, I mean, I say in the last couple of decades, we've really been building each other up because I think we have the ears to hear, um,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and when the struggles are not so hard and you're not worried about where your next meal is coming from, you do have a little bit more freedom to
Mm-hmm.
listen. When you're
Right.
not worried about crosses being burned on your lawn, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
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 Life seems a little bit easier to listen and to not make history repeat itself. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you can avoid some of the things. You can teach a little bit easier. You can learn, a little bit faster or
Yeah.
with more open ears, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, I got a lot to be thankful for. And I tell my kids when they go to school, listen, your education is free right now. Go
Mm-hmm.
pick your teacher's brain. Everything
Right.
they got because they paid for it, you can
Yep.
get it for free right now, you
Exactly.
know,
That's right.
until you have to pay for it. So you
Mm-hmm.
might as well get it for free right
You
now.
got that
And
That's
I'll
right.
tell
right.
you about my grandkids, like Daryl calls them, a batch of geniuses, you know. Seven, by the way, just got nominated for the highly capable program. So she is the last of all my grandkids to get
Mm.
nominated for the highly capable program.
I
So
know that's
Great.
right.
yeah,
That's
Yeah.
that's that. No, that is a pride for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
When
yeah,
any one of us succeed, we
Yeah.
all
we
succeeded.
all succeed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
love that.
Wow. What
I
can I
just found
say?
out yesterday, fun fact, that our youngest daughter's birthday was on the 5th,
Mm-hmm.
and I just found out that Trayvon Martin was born the same day as her.
Mm.
Same day, same
Oh,
year. So
Wow.
she said she's gonna be dedicating some things to Trayvon Martin every year on her birthday from now
That's
on.
bomb. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool.
I never
Yeah.
knew that.
Um, I want to just say, like, thinking about the question I asked the both of you, it just hit me all of a sudden. And we talk about God. Like you always said from the very first episode, just because you don't believe it, don't mean it ain't true, you know?
mm,
And we all have our own beliefs and whatnot, but my life is not my own. I know the I know the God that I serve, and I truly believe in the great creator, right? Um I believe he's all knowing. I believe with everything in me that his grace is sufficient. I believe it. Why? Because I'm living proof of it.
Yeah,
I'm
you
living
are.
proof.
Yeah, you are.
And I say that because to answer that question myself, I say my whole my whole experience that I was away from my family, my children, life as we think, oh yeah, we living out here, right? No, I truly believe that my contribution and my gift to the world, to my children, my grandchildren, to whoever I come in contact with, a part of it is my life experience, that 25 years that I spent in the cage, in the cocoon, as you've seen
In the
my
cage.
picture that I had put together, that big old, I was in this cocoon for so long. Wasn't all bad. It wasn't all good, but it was a development in order for me to come forth as this butterfly, and for God to have His way. And nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect, but I'll tell you what, I know that he and his plans that he has for me, I have been able to see them and experience them and feel them and get feedback from for the last 25, 30 years. Like, this is something that was always in the making, whether I knew it then as a young adult, whether I was learning it in the cocoon, and now that I'm outside and I'm getting ready to really walk in my purpose. I know that God is with me, and I know that His hands is upon me, and my contribution is my life and that time that I spent away, and moving forward, whatever I have learned and I'm still learning, is to just pour it out, to give back. And it almost like really brings me to tears because that wasn't a easy thing to do, but I always leaned on the Lord, and I would always remind myself like His unchanging hand. Now one day was hard in the way of I didn't want for anything, I didn't need this, I didn't, but just being far removed from everything and everyone. But I know that there was a reason for it. Like you said, Miss Helen, there's a reason for everything that we go through. And I'm just now like scratching the surface and being able to see, you know. I'm excited to
I'm
see.
so excited for you, dear, because you know what? I hadn't planned to see you or Lynn because when I went to Connecticut and I was standing on this plateau and a voice came to me and said, "It's time for you to go." I
Mm,
lived in East St. Louis, blackest city, and I was around my black people all the time. And when it said
mm-hmm,
it's time for you to go, I didn't argue. I said, "Oh,
mm,
it's time for us to go," but I thought I was coming right back to Connecticut. I said, "Okay, this is where I'm coming," and I guess we got to clean, and all of a sudden, I was washing dishes, and I used to wear rubber gloves, and I for some reason I didn't, and I cut my hand. I had to go to the emergency room and get stitches. And when I came back, my husband said, "Oh, we're not going to Connecticut. We're going to Seattle." I said, "I don't want to
mm.
go to Seattle. It's too close to Russia." And he said, I said, "I don't want to go there." He said, "Your brother has called," and he said, "There are plenty of things available for us there, and
Mm,
this is where we're going." And so the cable guy came out and he said, "Oh," he said, "Mrs. Collier," he said, "it is so beautiful there. The mountains, the everything is so different." And my mother said, "Helen," he said, "you have never seen anything like it." He said,
mm,
"You have never been there." She said, "Now you see how flat everything is here and you can just go straight." He said, Cliffs, mountains,
mm,
everything that's different from anything that you've ever known. You're going into a new world."
mm,
And so I said, "Well, Mom, um, the Spirit has said that I must go and I got to." So and I never, ever, ever, even no matter what I feel or don't feel, if the Spirit says do it, I
yeah.
will follow that lead because I know I'm going. And I got here, and when I got here, Lord have mercy, it was so different. I was in total shock. So I said, "I'm leaving." I got here in September. I said in May I'm going home. I can't stay here. And in May, by the time May came, I had uh, a permanent job. I was working with children that I loved and doing the things. I got my bachelor's degree in law enforcement and government, and then here I am, not even expected to work with children at all because I already had a job. But the young man came up and said to me, one of my coworkers said, Helen, he says, let's just apply for this summer job. We're gonna work with juvie, and then we'll be working with kids for 6 months, make us some extra money. And I
Mm-mm.
said, let me get this little white guy out of my face. Let me write this up and fill it out. And he said, now go ahead and take it on in there. And so we took our thing in there. And when we took it in there, I took it in there. My sister-in-law passed. I had to go back to East End. When I came back, I was just, you know how you get depressed. And on a Sunday morning, they called me and said, we see you have signed up to be to work. We want to work on call for juvie. I said, yes, because I wanted to
Mm.
get out of that depression I was in. Let me tell
Wow.
you, I never saw my coworker again. I
Mm.
never saw, he never came to any training. He was never there. God is good.
Yes,
And when the
yes.
Holy Spirit puts something in you and have some work for you, you gonna do it.
Yeah.
You may tell yourself, but it will lead you there and all and don't it's not gonna tell you it's gonna be easy. It will
Right.
not. But every step of the way, that sees all, knows all, and
Yeah.
it's everywhere, every time,
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
day will carry you through it. And when people thought the next day I was going to get fired, 26 years later, I walked out on a red carpet. God is
Mm. Come
good.
on. Come on.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you,
I
God is good. Now,
received
see, y'all,
that.
I didn't intend to tell that.
Okay, I received that. Yeah.
You had your little plan. You was gonna do this. You was gonna live
Yeah.
this way. God was like,
Uh-uh.
little do you know, I got I got big things planned for you. I think we're all
Okay.
gonna, I mean, this podcast is one way for us to leave a legacy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Our books, we live on through our books, we live on through our children, and
Yes.
the stories that people will tell about us, no
Yeah.
matter how long this lasts or how long we last, our legacies will be there. So, I
Yeah.
mean, we're all every day we're building more towards our legacy, right? So, who knows? It might be one thing we're thinking today, and then tomorrow it'll be something else.
Mm.
So, yeah, Miss Helen, I'm so glad that you came to Seattle, even though you
Yeah.
think it's still close to Russia, and because who knows? Where we would have ended up. And I'm so grateful every time I get to talk with you or spend time with you or spend them long Saturdays or you know I'm just grateful. And the same, Leslie, I feel about you. We'll be going to New Orleans soon.
Yes. I'm
And
Yes.
ready. I'm
you know,
ready.
but I'm very grateful for y'all, and
Did
I
I hear
look
you? You
forward
didn't.
to
I
every
didn't hear you
moment.
say you were going to New Orleans, did I?
We're going to New Orleans. Yeah.
I didn't hear that. Did I? I didn't hear. I didn't hear that. See, uh-uh.
It is
That's
a,
been
it
my
is a
dream.
convention. Um, it is a convention. It's legal show convention,
Mhm.
April 9th through the 12th. You going?
I hear you. I don't.
We'll talk to you.
I can't
I
because
know.
of
I mean, you
yeah.
got a lot going
Yeah,
on
but
too.
I got a lot
Yeah,
going on. Like, so, but
got a
but
lot
but
going
in my
on.
heart, I would be there whether I go or not because
Okay.
Yeah.
you ladies will definitely bring me back the good news. I know I won't get the food, but I'll be
Mm.
thinking about it.
To bring you some
Yeah, I'm
beignets or
going.
something. The last time I went to New
I'm
Orleans,
going to experience New Orleans.
so stay off of Bourbon Street, because good
uh
Lord.
Shoot.
Look,
That's the
take
first
you
street you're
some
going
blessed
to, huh?
oil, some holy water, and a good Bible.
Okay, a good Bible.
Listen,
For
Bourbon Street
real.
is nothing to play with. It is no
Have you ever
joke.
been there?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Ooh,
heard? She said she want us not to experience something she has already experienced. Now
No,
you
no,
know we had to
no.
go
I
now.
want you to experience it. I'm just saying,
I'm just saying.
keep your eyes
Oh,
open.
excuse me.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, well, we are Straight No Chaser podcast. I am your favorite Auntie Lynn.
I am your favorite auntie, Helen J. Collier.
and I am the favorite auntie, Leslie
Okay.
Montgomery.
See? Okay. Okay. We hope that you enjoyed this impromptu podcast. It was fun. It was
Yeah.
natural. I certainly learned a few things. I took some notes, and
Mhm.
I hope that you all can like, comment, share, subscribe, engage. We love to have your engagement. And with that, we are going to end this. All minds clear?
All minds
All
clear.
minds clear.
Amen.
Mm.
Bye, y'all.
Bye bye.
Bye.